If you've never seen one of these before, you probably have no idea what it is. Definitely doesn't look like something to make coffee, right? This is an Aeropress. This is actually one of the most versatile, affordable, portable, unique coffee makers that's out in the market. You can buy an Aeropress at Target, Amazon, Bed Bath & Beyond for like 30 or 40 bucks. The Aeropress is incredibly compact. It's super lightweight. This thing goes in a backpack, suitcase if you're traveling. It's full immersion where you put the coffee inside of this chamber and you let it steep for a while, and then you're actually pressing it through. Similar to a French press, however, the filter is very, very fine paper. So you get much more of a lighter bodied cup compared to a French press where it's more heavy and fuller bodied. There are many different styles of coffees that you can make with the Aeropress, but today we're gonna show you sort of the go-to way, sort of the standard recipe for an Aeropress, as well as my favorite recipe for the Aeropress, which is a bit different from the standard. So let's get into it. For the recipe we're doing today, we're using water at 205 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got our grinder set to a fine, medium fine coarseness. We're gonna grind our coffee here. And as always, we preheat our brewing vessel.
Always.
Preheating your brewing vessel prevents temperature shock. I know that sounds pretentious, right? I know that, and I try to stay away from pretension. That's not true. That's not true. Third wave coffee is so pretentious just at its nature, but we always preheat our brewing vessel to prevent temperature shock. If you have your house at 65 degrees, which is what we keep ours at, we like it cold, right? And then you throw boiling hot water into that, that's gonna bring your temperature down much quicker than if you preheated your vessel and it's already at 205 degrees, right? So you're not gonna lose temperature as quickly. The other thing we always do, we always rinse out our filter. These filters are made out of paper. They can tend to have sort of a papery flavor, but if you flush your filter, you don't have to worry about that. So we'll do that right into this cup right here. So that flushes our filter. We're gonna add our coffee to our Aeropress. One of the things about the Aeropress that makes it so nice is that you don't really have to weigh your water like you would if you're brewing out of a V60 or a Chemex or something like that. You can, it's nice too, but you have these little guide numbers on the side, right? If you're doing a full Aeropress, you obviously go to the top number, the 1. But for the sake of consistency and I guess pretension, we're gonna measure ours. 16 grams of coffee. We're gonna add 250 grams of water, which is gonna bring it up to the top. But first, we're going to bloom. We're gonna saturate our grounds bed. Start our timer too, don't forget that. Start the timer. Saturating the grounds bed just enough, and we're gonna stir to make sure that all of our coffee grounds are saturated with water. We're gonna give that about 20, 30 seconds. What a coffee's doing when it's blooming is that it's releasing carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is trapped in beans, especially when they're fresh from the roast. And if you have too much gas around your beans, you can't get an even extraction. So we let the coffee sort of bloom off some of its natural gases before we pour water. We're at 35 seconds, so we're gonna pour. We're pouring to the top. Again, this will probably be right at around 250 grams. Make sure to swirl as you do it. You wanna make sure that you don't have any pockets of dry grounds. And now we let time do its thing. We're gonna let the beans extract. We're gonna wait till 2 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, we're at the 2:30 mark. We're gonna take our cap with our flush filter. We're gonna screw that on, and now in one quick motion, we're gonna put the top of our vessel on. We're gonna flip it over. And now we plunge. The plunge should take about 30 seconds. You're probably gonna think this is way too slow. There's a point to this slow plunge. If we push too fast, we run the risk of ripping our paper filter and we're gonna get coffee grounds all into our cup of coffee. We don't want that. So we do a nice slow 30-second plunge. And then hopefully, if you did it right around the 3-minute mark, you should be good to go, give or take 10 seconds or so. Right when you hear the hissing sound, stop. There you go. It's really good. I love an AeroPress coffee. You taste all the layers of flavor notes in the coffee. It's hard not to like, plus it looks super cool. This was the standard recipe. This is sort of what you're gonna get when you go to most coffee shops for the most part. But now we're gonna make my favorite recipe. It's even way better than this. My favorite AeroPress recipe right here. Totally different than the last one. Last one we used 16 grams of coffee. This time we're using 35 grams of coffee. Last time we used water at 205 degrees. This time we're using water at 185 degrees. Last time we brewed for, what was it, 3 minutes? This time we're brewing for around 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So all the different components of the AeroPress have changed, and it's gonna make a totally different coffee, even though we're using the exact same beans. 35 grams of coffee. We're grinding at a totally different consistency. This is gonna be a slightly more fine version than a French press grind. Our AeroPress has been preheated with hot water. Our filter has been flushed. We're gonna add our coffee. We are gonna bloom here, but we're not gonna bloom as long as we did on the last coffee. So last time we bloomed for around 20 to 30 seconds. We're only gonna bloom for around 15 here. So we start our timer and we pour enough to saturate these beans. Give it a good stir, make sure everything's incorporated and that there's no dry pockets. We're already at 15 seconds, now we're pouring to the top. Kind of swirl a little bit as you do it, make sure everything's nice and saturated. To the top. We wait until 1 minute and 45 seconds. So this is a really quick brew right here. Getting a phone call. It's my mommy. Hey, Mom.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm filming right now, a coffee video. I don't have time. I'm literally filming right now and you're on, if they can hear your voice. Okay, I'll call you. I love you too, bye. Always answer when your mom calls, always. We're at 140, so we're gonna cap it now. And then we're gonna plunge. Again, don't plunge too fast here, guys. You want around a 20 to 30 second plunge right here. You don't wanna rip that filter. If you rip the filter, all this is ruined here. We're gonna plunge until we hear the hissing sound, and if you do it right, that should be right around 2 minutes and 15 seconds of total time. There it is, on the money. Now, we're not done yet. This is the last thing we're gonna do. This is pretty concentrated coffee right here. Depending on your liking, you're gonna add some more hot water to it. For me, the sweet spot's around 75, 80 grams of more hot water. Don't go more than 100, that'll dilute it too much. But we're gonna put in about 75 grams. Guys, this is it. This is where it's at, right here. This is my favorite cup of coffee. I love this so much. I said the last one was good, but this one's so much better. If I had to describe it, there's just so much more flavor. I'm not even gonna pretend to know why that is. There's tons of AeroPress recipes out there. Check it out, Google them. There's so many. The AeroPress is cool because you can experiment, you can try totally different things with it, and yeah, just find what you like. Thanks so much for checking out this video on the AeroPress. If you want to learn more, go visit protagonistcoffeeroasters.com. Check us out on Instagram at Protagonist Coffee Roasters. If you got any questions or want to learn any recipes, feel free to message us. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks, guys.